Well, our first season at VALMERIA was very successful. Qualified for the Europa Conference League by winning the cup. I don't know what it's called. It's a tough one. It really is. It's a tough one. Today's episode, though, is transfer special. End of season review. Go ahead and get into it, my dudes. Before we get into today's episode, why don't you go ahead and leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Well, here we are. It's end of season review. And that's right. You see, there's a cup on this screen as our first season in the Journeyman, which we took over maybe 3/4 of the season through. You know, it's pretty nice. We won the cup and qualified for the Europa Conference League. So let's go ahead. We didn't really do anything, did we? We really didn't. We didn't do much on this one. This is what we brought in before we got here. Minya, 7.17. He brought in a... I'm not going to read the ratings for these guys because, well, we didn't bring him in to start with. Krolis, C for him. I don't know how much we paid for him. Struma, I don't like this guy. I'm going to be honest with you. He's complained about training one too many times, so not the biggest fan. We brought in Jakob, B- for him. Kudra, a C. Not a big fan of him. He didn't play really well. Mitrovic, once again, didn't really play well. He was our #1 goalkeeper. C for him. This guy right here is C. Ivan, A+. Brought him in on loan, done excellent for us. We brought Croutons in, C for that. We didn't. I mean, like I said, we didn't do any of these. Luca, C for him. Gabov's a C. Zakari, a C. This one's going to be a bad one. This one's going to be a bad one. Never mind, it wasn't a bad one. It was a B-. I really didn't think Kuzmins was going to get a good deal. But, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Those happy with our finish in the... This is the cup, I'm guessing. Ain't that the cup name? Yep, that's the cup name. We didn't play any in the Conference League. We was already knocked out. And C+ for finishing 4th in the league behind RFS, Riga, and Lapcha, who jumped us somehow. I don't know how that happened because I thought there was a pretty sizable gap at one point. No, I know what it is. They was #3. It went to the cup winner, didn't it? That's what it was. The 4th place went to the cup winner, or the third Europa Conference League went to the cup winner. So that's why it's not okay. I got it. I understand now. I get you. So money, everything goes up obviously because, well, there was no money before the save started. Top selling kits, feel bad for these guys. Salagads, I did not like him. Sal, he's leaving the club. Krolis, if you bought a Krolis kit, you done a good job. Luca, I mean, he was scraping the bottom of the barrel, and Gaia should have a bigger role next year. This is how we lined up, and I agree with it for the most part. Swap Krolis and Sal around, and you got it. I mean, back 4 is pretty tough to pick, really. Fans player of the season was Krolis. Young player of the season was Krolis. Goal of the season was Gaia. Top goal scorer was Krolis. Most assists was Yokota. Player of the matches was Sal. Minya with the highest average rating. Ivan with most passes completed per 90 minutes. And there's obviously going to be a bunch of records because there's no records in the book. So, yeah, I'm not going to read all that. You can look at it. I'll scroll down for you guys, and you can read off all the stuff that happened. There you go. Hope you paused. And now we are out of the season review, and I really thought about something. You know, we've got a lot of amateur people on our team, right? I was like, you know, I bet there's a lot of other amateur people on other people's teams. So we're scouting. We've got one scout right now, and he's buckled down. He's busy. He's really busy. We got 2 scouts considering the chief scout. We're scouting all of the amateur contracts in the league, just really hoping that we can pick up somebody, you know, for a decent price, like this guy right here. Obviously, it'll be a free. Right now, we've got him at a 3.5-star player, 5-star potential. Obviously, that's not going to be true. We need to keep scouting him, and it's going to take a while. I am looking for a second scout to come in, but that's the idea. Another thing that we discussed, we want to bring up people that we have on contract. That way, we can get ready for, you know, signing some players. You know, see what we need, because we're going to use our B team, bring up some players from it, and we're actually going to go ahead and do that now. We're looking at Murata. You're getting called up to the senior squad. Nadoya is getting called up to the senior squad. Digna is getting called up to the senior squad. Why did he not go? I know why he didn't go. There we go. Get up there. Okay, he still didn't go. He didn't want to go. Lipa, he's getting called up to the senior squad. And I think that'll be it. I think he'll be the last one that we call up because this guy is on loan. from another club. We didn't do it. They brought him in, and that's the way she goes. So this is what we're looking at now. This is the team that we've got. Now, we have a couple amateur contracts, and I would like to discuss some of these amateur contracts to see if they're even guys that we want to use or, you know, not. Zakari is on an amateur contract. I think he stays on the team because we're just thin at center back. Prolis is wanted by... Hey, that's interesting. I'm trying to transfer. I listed this to Sarah guy because we never used him last year. He's only a 2.5-star player. He plays on the left-hand side where we are actually got some options. I'm really thinking about Stepanov's releasing him on a free. He's only a 1.5-star player, 2.5-star potential. He's not really good, is he? He's not going to get much better either. Croutons, I think we hang on to him just because we're thin in the center mid. I mean, honestly, he's a 2.5-star player. He does have some versatility, so I think we hang on to him for right now. Luka, I hang on to. Gabovs, I think we hang on to him. He has some versatility as well. So we've got a decent-sized squad. Obviously, we're going to lose Minya and Ivan this offseason. And then we're losing 3 people. Oh, Sal. We're losing Sal as well. So I don't think we make any more cuts until we release Sal and we release not Sal. When we let Sal go, when Sal leaves the club, and when Ivan and Minya leave the club as well. And then we take a look at some of these guys that are on our amateur contracts and see what we want to do with them. Like I said, we've already cut Stepanovs. I think then you have to look at Croutons, Gabovs as well, because he's not really that good. He's only a 2-star player, 2-star potential. I think we can definitely do better than that. I think the people that you would probably keep is Zakari, because he's a 2-star player, 4-star potential at center back. And then you keep probably, I know we talked about cutting him, but this guy right here. And these, so, okay, start over. Zachariah, Luka, Dobrocrofts. I think that's the guys that we keep going forward. But I want to get to the point where we start losing some of these players and see what we can bring in from some of these other amateur contracts at different clubs. I think that's a pretty good idea, my dudes. Well, signing players have been difficult. I've been trying to sign free players and bring them on trial, so we know a little bit more about them when we sign them. But a lot of them have refused to come to the club, so it's been tough. And our scouts can't really go that far to find new players. So yeah, what we've done has not been what exactly I wanted to do, but we have brought in 3 players, looking to bring in 1 more right now. I still want to sign another centerman and a center back, and then we'll go to the squad and see who needs to be demoted back down to the B team. But up first, we've signed, this was a big signing, and the scouts kind of lied. They said he was a 2.5-star player. He's not that great. He's a 2-star player. He's a 2-star player now. He has a lot of potentials, 4.5-star potential, left back option. He's going to compete with Fall a little bit for the backup position. I kind of like this guy, but I kind of don't. I mean, he's an overall decent player for our level. Like I said, he's just really here to fill a spot. We spent a little bit too much money on him. I was excited when I seen Latvian and 21 years old. So, you know, there was a reason why I signed him right there. But I do think with some game time, he will be able to develop a little bit. He played a little bit in the league last year, 17 matches, put out an average rating of 6.4. So want to see that get up a little bit. Then we signed another left back. We're just going to call him Solo. Solo from RFS for $15K. He will be our starting left back. He's a 3-star player, 3-star potential. Looks pretty good. I mean, just a solid veteran squad member. I actually like this guy. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. Played in the league last year on loan at Sparta. Put out a 6.79 in his ratings there. So, decent little player. Then Moros we signed for a free. This is just a depth piece as well. 2-star player, 4-star potential. Brought him in. He was on an amateur contract. I think we've still got him on an amateur contract. We do. So, pretty nice there. I don't think he's actually played much. He hasn't. Played a little bit for their B team last year and put out an average rating of 7.01. So, done pretty good there. See if he can make the jump now. Then we signed another veteran right back. 3-star player, 3-star potential. And he's just going to slot in behind Jansom's. And I think he's pretty good. Now, saying that we've cut 2 players, I don't know if we'll be able to find them. Released players. We released Gabovs. He's a right back. We released him when we signed Mama, or whatever his name is. We released him then. He was going to be our third choice behind Mama and Tony and Jensams. So I feel like our wings, fullbacks, they've got better. And that's been really it. I'm trying to sign this guy right here. He's a right wing option. We haven't done a ton of scouting on him, but he looks okay. Potentially a 4-star player, 5-star potential. We know it's going to be a 2.5-star player with 3-star potential with my luck. I'm just struggling to find players that want to come to the club, really, and that's the issue. We're bringing this guy in hopefully for 2.5. Should be fairly cheap, so that'll solve the right wing issue, which leaves us, as I mentioned, I'd like to sign another center mid and a center back, and then we can actually do a little bit of work on who we want to bring down to the B team, because the squad's getting pretty large at this point. A lot larger than what I want it to be. It's at 26 people, and we'll definitely be demoting some of these guys. And I'm not 100% sure on who makes the cut and not. If we sign another center back, then it's going to be pretty easy. I think you drop down Balados. He'll be one that gets dropped down to the team. Maybe Lipa or Diagne. Not 100% sure out of those two guys. One of those two guys will get dropped down. Papa Fall might get dropped down to the B team as well, because we've got options there. I don't know. I kind of like Papa Fall still. I think it's a good option on right back or left back for us. Right back, who was the other guy that we discussed? We brought in the Mama guy, and we've got Tony. Tony could get dropped down to the B team as well, but I would prefer not to. But we definitely need to cut some of these guys back down to the B team after signing some guys, especially if we do any more business. I think we've got a lot of center mids that can get demoted, really, because we've got enough people. I feel like in that position for depth, we've definitely added to the depth. We've got to add some quality. That's where we're at right now. Definitely got to add some quality to the team. Let's take a look at the depth chart, because I am going to change up the tactic a little bit. I'm on squad. I'm clicking squad. I'm on squad. Team depth charts, as we mentioned. We got Krolis up top. We got Gehi after that. And then we got the Nadoya dude after that. Left-hand side, Siligadas will be the starter. Tixera will be behind him. And then Luca on most days. Number 10, I'm looking honestly, and this is because of center mid issues. We're probably going to play, if I can find him, we got Dobb. Dobb's going to be our number 10 probably, most likely. He's a 2.5-star player. And then Murata after him. Right-hand side, Punkels will be there. He's either footed. He can play as a right wing for us. I know we played him as a left wing, but with our issues right now at right wing, he will definitely probably be our starting right wing player. And that's it at right wing. We got to add some more depth there, really do. Center mid, we've got options. It's just not like great options. Right now I'm looking at Yokota, Crouton, and a mixture of Diagne or the Latpa guy. And then we have that one guy coming back from loan midway through the season, I believe. Right wing, we've discussed that. I'm pretty happy with Jansen's, Mama, and Tony. Center back, I think if the season started right now, it'd be Gad and Jakob and Zachariah being the backup to those guys, and then Balados being a fourth choice. Left back, we've discussed as well. Solo, Papa Fall, and Burka. So we've got some players, but I mean, even right here, I tried bringing this guy in on a trial just to see him a little bit. He declines it. I would really like to learn a little bit more about him, though. He's a 3-star player, 5-star potential, and we've only got 2 scouts, so not exactly perfect right now. I don't know where we would be at if the season started right now. We can actually take a look. So season preview has us sitting at 4th right now. So it's decent. It's definitely decent. We've got 2 players in the Dream 11. I would really like to add some players. I think you could make a case for Krolis being up top in this media 11. But yeah, it's just tough. It's really tough because nobody wants to come to the club. Nobody wants to take trials. I am struggling right now, my dudes. Well, my dudes, some stuff has happened. Kind of some crazy stuff. We signed Samba Diallo on loan. He's a left wing option, and you might be thinking, well, you've got plenty of left wings. Well, some stuff did happen. He's a 3.5-star player, 5-star potential. We signed him on loan from Dynamo Kiev. Looks to be a pretty solid player for us. I'm expecting him to be a regular starter. I really like him, but the reason why we signed him is because we sold Luca I'm glad we did, because his name was a tough one for me. We sold him for 120K to Sparta Prague. He never really got going for us, did he? He was kind of disappointing of a player for me. So kind of glad to see him leave, really. And then we signed also on loan Gieznov, a right-wing option that's 2.5-star player right now. I mean, he's got some potential. I think he can be a pretty good player. He's got really good physicals in terms of speed. So I think he'll be a decent backup option, because we're still going to be playing Punkas on the right-hand side, and he'll be the backup to Punkas for most of the matches. Then we signed another right-wing option in Kakarkichik. Oh, that one's a tough one. Harchik? We're going to just call him Harchik, I guess. He's another 2.5-star player, 4.5 or 3.5-star potential right-wing option. Just another solid depth piece, really, for us to be behind that spot. So the squad's kind of getting big again. I do expect to drop some more players if we end up signing some people. It's an odd season for us. And then another, just a really weird one. Right after we sign him, a player wants to leave the club. Mamar wants to leave the club, wants to join a bigger club so he can get into the national team, I guess. I mean, he's got 86 caps. Come on, bud. I could have used you, definitely. So that meant Tony is back in the squad. It was a bit disappointing to let him go, but it is okay. I did notice it, so we're starting to try doing this a little bit. They're kind of upset that I haven't been signing people under the age of 22. Well, bad news, guys. Nobody wants to come to the club, and they're still unwilling to give me a coaching badge. So not exactly happy with that. So we've got to get that solved. I really want to sign another center back, a guy that I'm looking at too. I kind of like him, but not enough to make a deal on him yet. I want to get him scouted a little bit more, and that would be Wamba here. Nope, not Wamba. I do like Wamba. I really do, but I'm not signing him. That's not who I'm looking for. What's the guy that I'm looking for? So scouted players, let's look at center backs. I know he's under the age of 22. Musa, he's a central defender, playing at Meta. We're scouting him. It's taken a while because our scouts are really bad. But for me, a 2.5 or 1.5-star player to a 3.5-star, that's a pretty sizable gap. I'm liking the way he's looking so far, but I still want to see a little bit more from the scouting report before I sign him. I think he would be fine. I really do. I think he would slot in and be a really good player for us. I'm just not 100% sold because of that. I'm guessing that it would be a 3.5-star player or 2.5-star player. So it's not really better than what we have, but it would mean that we could do some different stuff with the team in terms of we could drop, what's his name? I would probably drop Zakari at that point if we signed him. Zakari's on an amateur contract. That would leave us Gatarani, that dude that we're talking about, and Jakob as our center back options that we have. It's just, I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to do that, and we've got some people coming in after some big names. Prolis, he's wanted by a couple different clubs, and I'm not selling him unless they meet a need that we have. Obviously, we can sign that one kid that we did kind of briefly looked at. We've looked at him in the past, and that would be this Wamba guy. He could come in and be a decent starter for us, I feel like. And then another player that has been attracting some attention, which I really would prefer him not to be attracting this attention, is Jansons. He's wanted, but no, they came in with a really poor offer. And then another one is Yokota. We haven't received an actual offer, but he's wanted. And I think we've put a list on him. We haven't. I can't remember what it was. Let's see if we can search for it and see if we can. I did not do that name right, did I? There we go. They're talking about $230,000 for him. I wouldn't mind that sale, really, because it might mean that we could bring in another player that we would need. We're finally starting to get some decent players in, I feel like, especially with the left wing guy that we signed. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but we're doing some stuff. We're definitely doing some stuff. It's just slow go right now. We're about to start getting into some friendlies, I think, in a couple of days. Yeah, and tomorrow actually is our first friendly. And I'm actually going to play some of these friendlies. I usually don't. I want to see what we have with the squad and see who impresses me, especially in the central midfield, because I think that's the biggest question mark that we still have. I want to see in these friendlies upcoming. I want to see something from Murata. I would like to see something from Crouton, Diagne, and Lipa. I think those are the guys that we want to take a look at to see what they have in for us. Well, we have ran out of time for the transfer special. The start of the season, it's here. We're ready for our first matches, and I think we have our first 11 picked out for the first match, and there is one tiny change to the squad because one guy has looked really good in the friendlies compared to another player, so he's getting the start. But before we go over that, we are going to take a look at the friendlies that we played, and I think we played pretty good on them. We started off a little bit slow. We drew against Spartak, then we lost the match. Then we went on a win streak, so very nice. Very nice. I am looking at bringing in one more player. We will go ahead and take a look at him. We're actually spending some money on him and spending some money on his contract as well. It's bringing him in. He's a right back option that's also a center back option. And as you can see, he's already rated a 3.5-star player, 3.5-star potential. He looks pretty good. He's a little bit short to play center back for us, but he seems like he's pretty good in the air with his heading being 15 to 19. So I'm happy about that. His jumping reach is a little bit low, but I do think he will be a good player for us. Probably slot in as our number 2 center back beside Gadrani on most matches. That being said, if he does end up signing with us, Zachariah will probably get the axe. I might just let him go, to be honest with you. He's on. I say that we might keep him. He's on an amateur contract. We ain't spending no money on him, so no big deal there. I think we do keep him now that I've said that. But now that we're at this screen, I think we take a look at the starting 11 that we're going to put out in our first match. Obviously, in goal, we got Matrovics. The right-hand side, we will have Jansom's. Center back partnership for the first match will be Gadrani and Yakuba. And then left back will be Solo. The midfield, let's actually take a look at it like this right here. The midfield will have Lipa in it alongside Yokota. Lipa, I felt like he was the more consistent of the center back, or not center backs, the center mid options that we had with Diagne and Croutons. He's not great, but I do feel like he's a little bit more consistent. Yokota's on the left-hand side of him. Right-hand side, we know Pumkos is going to be getting the start. Number 10, Murata. I was impressed with him. I know he was a 6.62, but I did like I liked what he done in the matches. Thought he was really good there. Left-hand side, we got Diallo. And up top, the big change, Gai is getting the start over, what's his name? Krolis. Totally blank there. Forgot his name. But that being said, Krolis is our new number 20. It's the thing we do. It's the thing we do in this series. We give our best player, I guess you could say our best player, my favorite player, the number 20. I've discussed it a lot of times in the past while we do it, but you can just go check out a video by Zealand. I think it was titled, something along what's it like in the life of a YouTuber. I think that's what it's called. You can watch that if you want to know the story behind it, but that's what we're doing. Number 20 for him. And then we've got some new captains as well. Well, one new captain. Krolis is our captain. Punkels wins the vice captain. So there we go. Our vice captain last year was actually the guy that we've been really upset with majority of the stave in Struma. So no longer is he the vice captain. We've made some changes. And I think this side is really ready to go. I'll tell you another player that I was impressed with on most matches. He didn't play a ton. He picked up an injury. But Nadoya, I thought he looked really good for a 2-star player. Really excited about him. Papa Fall has went back to the B team now. I was more impressed with Burka than him. Burka having a lot more potential as well. So he's getting the start there. And I think it's important to note, our contract does end at the end of this season. So we don't get a coaching badge. I really feel like we move on after the end of this season. I know it's a quick one, but it's a journeyman, and well, we've got to get those coaching badges. And they have been pretty reluctant on giving us one, so I really see a move happening at the end of the season for us. Maybe we can go to Iceland. We wanted to go there to start with. Maybe a little bit of coaching experience does get us there. Taking a look at our guy here. Obviously we still don't have the badge. Our reputation's still half a star, so I think it's pretty important for us to get off to a good start this season and get pretty high in it. I want to see, too, does it show when the Conference League starts? It doesn't. Doesn't show when the Conference League starts. So that is something we've got to look forward to in this season as well. hopefully that'll boost our reputation a little bit if we get a victory there. Season preview has us sitting in 4th. We mentioned that before. I'd be happy with a 4th place finish. 3rd or 4th is where I'm looking at. I would really like to take over Leipzig. I don't think we take over Riga or RFS. And we have 2 players in the Media Dream 11 in Yokota and Janssens. I'm excited. I still think that Krolis could be in there. One of the players that we debated on targeting in Wamba, he is in the Media Dream 11 as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. Our first full season of the Journeyman starts tomorrow, maybe Monday. I don't know when this video comes out. I'm going to be real with you guys. Next episode, the first full season starts. Well, there we have it, my dudes. The transfer special is over, and I think we've done some quality work. We added some depth to this team that was much needed, and I think that's going to help us prevail a little bit better in the league this year. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below. And as always, my dudes, thank you for watching.